to be few. Another thing is that they do not have the labs, they do not have the right components, and also the funds to build that kind of an infrastructure which is required. Because of these, STEM is perceived as a very difficult subject by the teachers because they lack motivation. It also discourages students from engaging in it. So without the intervention, these students risk of being left behind in the digital economy. Our panelists from prestigious government and private schools will discuss more on this topic. We at India STEM Foundation are focused on simplifying STEM and making it accessible for every child in India because of these challenges. So, how are we making STEM easy for students to learn? In India, our culture is to memorize the subjects. Right. In India, we have a large population, we have a large number of students, and it has always been about how much marks have they scored in order to get to a good institution, good higher education institution, and also often in the job. However, STEM is not
especially in
about
the government
memorization.
schools in
A
India
person like
and in the
me can never memorize. I can only, think, I can only explore and innovate. So STEM is all about exploration and innovation. So we try to make STEM learning fun and interactive. We introduce students to robots, we help them build the circuits, we help them build the robots, we help them code the AI model so that they can understand if we
how
are
much
programming
marks have they
machines,
scored
how
in order
humans
to
can
get
also think.
to a
And
good
then we
institution.
encourage them to experiment with the real world problems. We introduce them to the UN sustainability goals, which are pressing problems along the globe, especially in our country, as Mr. Sharma just said that Delhi is one of the most polluted cities. So how can we solve that problem? So we encourage kids to think about it. We encourage them to experiment and come out with the solutions. Of course, we are not expecting an industry ready solution from a school. We are expecting a solution which is good higher education institution, and also we introduce students to robots, we help them build the circuits, we help them build the robots, we help them code the AI model so that they can understand if we are programming machines, how humans can also think. And then we encourage them to experiment with the real world problems. We introduce them a lot of times when we go to a government school. We also see that they do not have the computers. If you look at the modern softwares, they require the latest configuration, they require high RAM, high processor. So we often also have to provide them the computers and also the internet facility. We face this kind of a challenge, especially during the lockdown when the kids were not able to go to the school and we had to teach them over the internet. A lot of these students, they did not have a smartphone at home. They at school they did not have a computer and an internet connection, so we had to provide that. We also break complex topics into easy to understand modules. Of course, if we are teaching them robotics, if we are teaching them electronics, it is still a very complex topic. However, we take them through the videos in order to raise the awareness, in order to inspire them. Then we take them across the simulations. There are a lot of tools online available where they can play around with the simulations, and then we introduce them to the hardware so that they can create, they can program, and they can solve problems. We also give students the opportunity to access for international robotics competitions. So one such competition which India STEM Foundation organizes every year, and we have been doing this since 2006, is World Robot Olympiad. And we have got Mr. Brent from WRO today, who is going to discuss on how WRO makes STEM practical and fun through competitions. So, hands on learning, solving real world problems, and these showcase opportunities. But I believe if you have acquired a skill, you also need to showcase it to the world so that you can get the right feedback. Through this, we ensure that students from all backgrounds see STEM as an exciting and an achievable program in order to become global citizens and thrive in the technology driven world. In this, the teacher training is something which is very, very important. One of the biggest barriers, as I mentioned earlier, is teachers who are trained on STEM. The schools would have subject teachers, but they have got no clue on how can we introduce them. So for these teachers, we provide them hands-on workshops. We provide them workshops in person within their schools, and we also provide them workshops online so that they are continuously upskilled. We through the workshops we also give them the pre-designed lesson plan which can fit into their school curriculum. As I said before, that motivation to do some extra work is missing from these teachers. So we give them the modules, we give them the training so that they can easily implement within their classes. We use WRO as an example where, because in WRO students need to solve a real world problem. It is a theme based competition every year. So through that we also bring WRO within the classrooms in the Indian schools. The support and mentorship to the school teachers are very important. So with the help of corporates, we when we are running a CSR program, we do set up a lab, but we also provide a teacher from ISF who works within the school very hard in the first year of our engagement. In the second year, we encourage the school teachers to take responsibilities, to share responsibilities along with the ISF teacher. And then in the third year, we bring forward the school teachers, and India STEM Foundation teachers act as a support to these teachers. This helps us, give more ownership to the school, to give more ownership to the teachers, so that we can plan our exit and we can go to more schools in our country. Through this, the program is made sustainable across within the school and also enables us to feed more schools within the country. We do not leave these teachers alone. We try to meet them on at least on monthly basis through, of course, through online, so that we can clear their doubts and answer their questions. So training school teachers is something which we believe ensures that STEM education is reaching to the most underserved community and to the classrooms. And through this, we encourage teachers to think and solve problems. We have got Dr. Walter Stroop here, from who is the chair of STEM education at University of Massachusetts, and today he will discuss on how asking questions can benefit within a STEM classroom. In terms of helping the government schools implement with ease, so we have got people on ground. We, as I said, we also provide the teachers. But in order to overcome the barriers of that there is no equipment, no curriculum, no trained teachers, we set up the lab within the school. We have got a set of kits which are low cost and affordable, and with the support of corporate, we are able to provide the learning material and the kits to these schools, and we take it step by step so that the adoption becomes seamless. As I mentioned before, our teacher is there to support the school teacher, and gradually we try to transfer the ownership to the school teachers and the school. The role of the school head, the principal, is also important, and we are in continuous engagement with the principal in order to keep the spirits high. Corporates play a very, very important role because in India, through corporate social responsibility, through CSR, we get funds from the corporate in order to sponsor the education of the underserved students. We have got Mr. Ashwani today, who is the CEO of GMR, or a Lakshmi Foundation, who will talk about equality and inclusive STEM education. So, with these programs, schools can effortlessly integrate STEM and empower students to become innovators of tomorrow. So, we are on a mission to simplify STEM learning, empower teachers, and make implementation seamless for schools, especially those serving the underprivileged community. Just before the keynote, we will hear Mr. Sudhanshu Sharma on how India's STEM Foundation is making STEM education accessible for all. So, as I conclude, I would like to invite all of you to let's transform the education and create tomorrow's innovators through STEM. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Harold, for setting the stage with such an inspiring perspective on STEM education and transformating potential. So up next, we have Mr. Anurag Kumar, is the Director of Science City, Kolkata. So to give a brief intro of Mr. Kumar, he holds an MSc in Physics from IIT Delhi, and he served as junior research fellow at the same institution. So with vast experience across Bhubaneswar, New Delhi, Patna, Kolkata, these are the cities, beautiful cities in India. He has coordinated numerous exhibitions and gallery redesigns, including international assignments in Sri Lanka and Kuala Lumpur. He has presented papers at international symposium, including ECSIT in Finland and Science Center World Summit in Japan. So he'll be discussing how NCSM Science Centers innovation hubs from learning principle to planning products. So let's now hear from him how they are bridging the gap in STEM between ideas and implementation. Over to you, Shri Anurag Kumar.
Good afternoon and good morning to the panelists and the guests. I'll try to share my presentation. Yeah. So briefly about the National Council of Science Museums, for those who don't know about it. It's an autonomous organization under Ministry of Culture, Government of India, which the objective of this organization is to set up science centers, innovation hubs, and planetarium systems all across the country. Under its umbrella, 25 science centers operate throughout the country. NCSM has also established 30 more science centers which have been handed over to the respective state governments. And we are currently working on 34 more science centers which will be developed and delivered to the respective state governments for its operations and running. So besides the science centers, as I mentioned, we also develop innovation hubs. In fact, the innovation hubs of NCSM, this task was given to NCSM by the Planning Commission of India in 2013, where we were mandated to establish 60 innovation hubs all across the country by the year 2025. Until now, the objective of innovation hubs are obviously to promote innovation, creativity, and engagement in science, then foster the problem solving ability and project-based learning. In fact, one of the major objectives is also to retain the talent in science and STEM education. So these are the objectives of innovation hubs. Till now, we have opened 47 innovation hubs across the country. 11 more innovation hubs are almost ready and will be delivered by the year 2025. The first innovation hub was inaugurated on August 2013 in Birla Industrial and Technological Museum, which is the oldest science museum of the country. Now, the facilities of Innovation Hub includes a discovery hall. I'll give a brief about what all these means. The Innovation Resource Center and Hall of Fame, the Idea Lab, something what we call in India Tod Phod Jod, which means break and remake. Then Kabad se Jugaad. Jugaad is a very famous term used in India, where we build things from scrap. And then Idea Box and a design studio. So the Discovery Hall has got a small setup of a kind of science center type exhibits which are STEM based exhibits, the physics, chemistry, maths, science, technology kind of exhibits. And then we have Innovation Resource Center. This primarily has got the facility where the students can browse through all the innovation works which are happening all across the country at one place. And in fact, in addition to that, some of the recent innovations that have been done in primarily in India are also shown in something what we call Hall of Fame, where the details about those innovations are kept. Then we also have uh, the Idea Lab, which is basically a multidisciplinary lab, which contains a small lab on physics, chemistry, biosciences, then computer science, mechanical engineering, electronics engineering. In some cases, we also have labs related to biotechnology and nanotechnology. So it's basically a multidisciplinary lab at one place. As I mentioned, Tod Phod Jod, which means break and remake, where we keep some gadgets. Students can bring those gadgets from their home also or from their nearby places, and they are asked to open those gadgets and see what is there inside, study the details of the gadgets, and then reassemble them in their original state. And then we also have Kabad se Jugaad, which means using the scrap for making models and gadgets and any equipment that they wish to make. Primarily, the idea comes from the student. They go through the scrap which are available all around them, or some of the scraps that we keep, and then they have to think of something which they can make out of those scraps, and then using our multidisciplinary lab, they make those gadgets in the innovation hub. Then we also have an idea box where primarily the students or any visitor coming to the innovation hub can drop their idea of any kind of innovation related to STEM education, and they keep that in the box. And students who are the members of this innovation hub, they come, they open this idea box, and if they like any of the ideas which have been proposed in the idea box, they can work in these on these projects in the innovation hubs itself. If they have their own idea, they work on their own idea. But even if they do not have any idea, they can choose idea from the idea box and start working on those ideas. Uh, then. Then we also have a design studio where we keep some basic 3D printer is there, and then some other design gadgets. Uh, the computers where designs can be done, those things are available, and the children can print their own gadgets or the tools or the objects that they want to use for their research or their project. The next step for the Innovation Hub is to establish innovation clubs in the schools to encourage the students to explore this creativity in their schools itself. Because at times it is very difficult for the students to come to the innovation hubs after they finish their classes or during the weekends. So we are mandated to create innovation clubs in the schools itself in a smaller scale, where the students can be inspired to take part in such activities of innovation. Some of the activities of innovation hubs are we have group exposure for the students so that we encourage them to become the members of the innovation club who can work on the weekends or on holidays on these innovation hubs for enhancing their creativity or converting their ideas to the projects. Then we also organize periodic innovation fairs and activities, competitions, and all. We have lectures from prominent people. We call innovators and researchers who interact with the students in this facility. And we also show some interesting films about the inventions and innovations that have happened. So it is full of activities throughout the year. Then we some glimpses of the innovation festivals that we organize throughout the country. One of the activities, as mentioned by Sarvjit and Sudhanshuji, we participated with ISF, India STEM Foundation, to organize World Robot Olympiad. And the first one which we organized was in 2016, where we also organized the world competition, the World Robot Olympiad, which was a great success. I think Sudhanshuji will talk more about this. Then some of the major achievements of Innovation Hub, which was helpful for the differently abled students, felicitated by the then President of India for this particular project. Then some more activities and the projects which have been developed by the students in the Innovation Hub have been granted back the electric cycle design vehicle and energy-free food preservers. Around 20 odd projects, the patent has already been applied, and patent has already been applied, and they are in the process of being granted. So these are some of the activities of the Innovation Hub that we are doing in order to promote STEM education. The idea is to create the facility, give the platform to the students who generally don't get such platform at one place, and to encourage them to use all the elements of STEM education to convert their ideas into real life projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anurag Kumar, for shedding light how these innovation hubs they are bringing change into the STEM education